Hello everybody and welcome to a pretty awesome redstone video. Today we're going to be looking at a combination lock I designed that's realistic, expandable, customizable, and super duper secure. So we'll look on the machine later on, but this is what it looks like to the actual user. All we have are these 4 digits of the 2x2 keypad and some doors to open up over here. So if we enter in the correct combination onto this, those doors will open and will pop up with a big thing on the screen that says vault open. So if we try just spamming on this thing to get in, it shouldn't let us in, the whole thing should reset, and these doors should not open. So there we go, we didn't get in, and I already know the code on this one is 6 digits long, but to most people they wouldn't know that. So let's try entering in some random 6-digit codes to see if we could break in. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The doors aren't opening, so let's try a different one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the door still didn't open, so let's just try one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just by entering in random digits, we're not getting into this thing. So let's try cheating this in a few different other ways. So first of all, we're just going to try spamming on this just by holding down the right click and going over all the buttons. So let's try that. And nothing's happening, it's not letting us in. So what I'm going to do next is use an auto clicker that will click on these as fast as possible so I could spam on all these super quick to see if that will break us in. So here we go. And still nothing's happening, it's not letting us in. So let's just try one more fake code. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's really not going to let us in. So no matter what you do, if you try to enter in fake codes or you spam on it or anything like that, it's not going to let you in because you have to know the perfect code, which goes just like this. And there we go, it should open up, and we can go down into our vault, and it'll be safe and secure in here with all of our diamonds and emeralds and gold. So that's what the machine would look like to someone actually trying to use it, but let's now go look at the actual system. So here it is, and it is honestly kind of confusing compared to some of the other combination locks on YouTube, but I can promise you the amount of options this thing has is not like any other video I've ever seen. And so what's actually determining in the combination we have to enter in are the pistons that intercept these 4 different rows of repeaters. So the first one has to intercept this repeater right here, the second one has to get this one, the third one and fourth one both go through the same spot, the fifth one right here, and then the sixth one is actually a bit different since we don't actually need the slide mechanism on the final digit, but it still intercepts with this row. So that's what's creating our combination. We have 4 different rows of repeaters, which is our 4 different digits on the keypad, and we also have 6 of these little modules, which creates the 6-digit long code, and this actually has a total possibility of 4,000, I think it was 72 different combinations. So pretty much if you wanted to break into this just by entering in every possible code, you'd have to go through over 4,000 of these. And I just looked, it's 4,096, and that's determined by the amount of keys we have, which is 4 to the power of 6. For the amount of modules we have. So this is an absolutely crazy combination lock. We now have a 3x3 keypad, so a total of 9 different keys, and this one is actually now 15 digits long. So in order to break into this one, I have to go calculate the number again, but it's absolutely insane. So if I did my calculations correctly, this exact system right here has 205 trillion different combinations. And to give an idea of how crazy that number is, if you wanted to get through every single one of these combinations and you entered in a different combination every second, it would still take you 6,528,764 years to complete. So if you have something that you want to lock up forever and ever, this might be a good one to consider. And so now back to this one. So what we're going to do is start off by entering in a correct combination, which will be this red one. So we'll click on the red keypad, which pulls down this bunch of slime. And now we're going to enter in the next correct one, which is the yellow, which pulls it down. And then we'll enter in the blue one, correct again, which pulls it down. But now this time we're going to click one that's incorrect. So when we do that, you can see the slime doesn't move at all. And what actually happens is this back system gets activated. And so the reason that system got activated is because every single time you click on one of these keys, it also activates this line, which is the resetting line. And the only way this resetting line doesn't reach the resetting system is if one of these modules moves, which breaks the line by moving this through. So we could actually look at that real quick. So it powers it, but it breaks the line because it's falling down and it's not able to complete it. But now if we get it wrong, we'll click on this green one, it's able to pass through everything, including the sand that's now down here, and it resets everything back to normal. And so that's it for kind of the main combination, but back here we have our resetting system, which pretty much just activates the orange lines and moves the pistons in the correct order to get the slimes back into its top position. We also have this thing that gets activated by the resetting system, which moves this block down here whenever you get anything wrong. So that means that the entire system will be impossible to connect to the finishing line, which this is the finishing line right here that you connect up to your vault door or anything else. And if this block is down like this, the repeater can't reach that line, and no matter how much you spam, it won't let you in. So the only way to do it is go through the system perfect and keep the block remaining in its correct spot by not activating the resetting system, which allows you to activate the final line. I think that's enough of explaining these complicated systems. I think we could get to work on building one now. So here's the entire machine built up layer by layer, and this is the color coded one that we get all the layers from. So this right here is the first layer, the very bottom one, which actually goes one into the ground on all these systems. And then there's the second layer, third layer, and fourth layer. So if you want to, you could build it up just by looking at this. You can see how everything stacks on each other. And so now for two other ways to build it, I'm going to show a quick video of me just building up the entire thing on survival. So you could follow that if you want to, and then I'll do a third different way after that, where I go through the whole system and explain everything that's going on. So once again, the one we're going to be building is the 2x2 keypad and the 6 long code, but you could always expand that out to have a longer code or a bigger keypad, or really whatever you like. But the amount of resources you need for pretty much that one right there is this, and one thing to watch out for stuff that might change around is that you might need more redstone dust based on the combination you pick, because moving around those pistons will require different amounts of redstone, but you're pretty much going to need a stack for the whole system. And also blocks kind of change around a bit, and the one other one is this white concrete powder. You could really use any falling block except for dragon eggs and infills, but you could use stuff like sand, gravel, or any type of concrete powder. And so now here's me building up the entire thing on survival. I'm going to start off with a keypad and expand out from there. So that's pretty much it for the main components, but we actually still have some stuff left since we haven't built up our actual combination yet. So just real quickly to look at everything, is this key right here wraps around and is this line on this one, then this one goes straight forward to that line, this goes straight forward to that line, and this one also wraps around. So you can think of this as 1, this line right here, 2, 3, and 4. So you can set up your combination in any order of those that you like. You could have them all be 1s, all be 2s, you could have it go 1, 2, 1, 2, or anything like that. So let's just set up a little dummy combination right now. We'll just do 3, place in our redstone to connect that, and I guess we could do 1, And we'll do 4, place in all of our redstone. Let's do 2, and all the way up to our 5th one. And what I want to show you is on the very last one, you actually have to do something a bit different. So I guess that will put it right here. So on this one, it's a bit different because what you want to do instead of placing it in the floor like this is actually place it up against this redstone line so it gets powered by the resetting system. And so we're going to put a piston right here since we want our final one to be 4. You also got to break this block underneath it and place this one in front of it. So this is what connects our final little circuit to the output line, and the output line just runs anywhere along here as long as it's going next to this block, because this is the final powering block. And then this is your output signal, and that should use up pretty much all of your redstone resources. So let's test this out. The first one looks like it's 3, so let's enter in that. And it looks like our reset system didn't go off, which is what we want, because sometimes if you get the timing wrong, it can mess it up. And it's pretty much the timing is this redstone line leads around and goes into 4 repeaters and this 5th one right here. So as long as you add in all those repeaters at 1 tick delay, so pretty much no delay, you're all good. So let's keep on with the combination. The next one looks like it's 1, then we have 4, then we have, what is it? It looks like 2, then 3, and now the final one should be 4 again. So if we enter this, should power our output line. I didn't really see it, but it should be good. And the entire system should reset, and everything seems to be working. Let's just do one more little check. If we enter in a wrong combination right at the beginning, nothing should happen. It looks like it activated the resetting system and everything reset. So that's all working perfect. There's your combination all built up. So I'm actually going to build up the whole system again, but this time I'm going to go a lot slower, and I'm going to explain everything as I do it. But if you already got it built up with this first one, or you like this first system better, you could just go ahead and skip this part. I'll put the timestamp up on the screen. So now let's get started on this thing. What I'm going to do is break 4 blocks in the floor, and we're also lining this up exactly with this one. And the reason I'm breaking these 4 blocks in the floor is so we could leave room for our redstone repeaters, which go underneath here. And we're actually going to add those in right now. So those will point off to this side of it, and the whole combination is going to be built up just like this. So they're all pointing to the left side if you're looking at it from the keypad. And so now we could continue on with this. We're going to build up the blocks that are at the bottom of our keypad. So those 4 just go like this, the 2 going back just like that. And then up on top of this, we're going to place in our observers and node blocks. So we want to start off by placing in the node blocks, and we can do that just by placing them in up here. And then we want to place our observers off those node blocks on the bottom, so all the observers are facing upwards and pointing down, so just like that. And now what we're going to do is run our 4 lines out of here, and how we actually do that is place 2 blocks on top of these exposed spots, and then 2 redstone in the back here, and then our 4 repeaters which come out of all of them. And one thing that's cool about this is all these 4 repeaters and all these signals, all have the exact delay of 1 repeater. So now we're going to build a little trench which connects up to our repeaters we placed in at the very beginning. Now we're going to fill that all in with redstone. And so this is just the thing that gets activated. No matter which one of these you click, it will activate this line. And that line leads out the back here. Place in another redstone like that. And then a block up here, because that redstone's going to go right up this to that block there. So now we could actually add in more of these blocks, and these blocks all go above the redstone, so that way the repeaters could carry through and they could also power this redstone. And those repeaters carry through into these repeaters, which are also at no delay. And then we could actually build up another block like this, and this is going to be the start to our resetting system, which is this repeater right here. And so now what I'm going to do is dig out all the trenches for our slime spots and for our sticky pistons. So they're going to be 4 wide for the slime, and then they're actually 5 as we're going to place in a repeater on each one of these on this side. So let's just go ahead and break out those 5 wide 1 block strips, and since this is a 6 long combination, we're going to break 5 of these for the 5 slime modules. So there's all 5 done. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now what we're going to do is just place in all the repeaters just like that. Not this guy. Alright, just all like that. And then what we're going to do is place in more repeaters up on top of here. This whole system takes a decent amount of repeaters. And these are all the 4 different lines that we have going through the system. And we're going to have them go all the way up to the final one. But we actually don't want to place in our final one yet, unless you already know what the final combination thing is going to be, because this repeater actually determines what the final key in your combination is. So we could leave that behind for now and work on the resetting line. So for this, you want to do this alternating block pattern where you place it off the repeater, and like that. So we're going to make a little weave that zigzags up and down, and then to get our next thing to place off of, we're going to place in another repeater like that, another one here, and just continue that process. And that process goes all the way up to our final trench we dug out. We're going to place in one more block and one more down here, but this time we're not going to place in any repeaters on it. We're actually going to extend it out one more like that and place in 2 redstone on top of it. And now we're going to jump up again, so place a block off that redstone and another one down again, and this time we're going to place in another repeater now, and this one's going to be set to 2 ticks, so just like that. And our output line is going to eventually come out of this spot right here. And now we're actually going to start working on the resetting pulse extenders. So the first pulse extender goes up here, and there's also one that goes down below, and the pulse extender also needs a block like that, and this actually makes the pulse extender last longer. Then this block is what the repeater will go on to go into one of our systems. Then we need to place 4 like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's actually going to be covered in redstone. So all redstone like that, but none on top of this one. And then a repeater goes right here with 1 tick. Then we place in 2 in front of here, 1 to the side of the block. So this is kind of hard to follow. I'm going through a lot of steps. So then we're going to place in a comparator to make our pulse extender, and one comparator goes in this direction. It has to face in this direction, and the other one faces in this direction, so make sure that this one's pointing into the block. That's pretty important. Then we're just going to mimic the same thing down on the bottom, but I don't really think it matters that much. These comparators you could have any direction you want, so we're just going to place them like that. Then we're going to place in our redstone back here, so that's going to get powered by this repeater. This repeater will power both this pulse extender and this one, and we need 2 more to finish up our pulse extender. Then that pulse extender line is going to run into a block, and this block is going to have a torch on it, and this actually activates a monostable circuit, which will actually go directly into the main resetting system. So then that's just a piston up on top of that torch facing in this direction with an observer, which points the redstone dot upwards and the face down, just like that. But now next to it, we're going to place one that faces up and points down, so you can see they're both pointing opposite directions. There's how they look. And now we're going to place a block off this one, another one facing up and pointing down. So there we go, the 2 faces. And now we're going to place a block below this one, a block here, and I guess we could just extend this line all the way out. And this is going to go all the way to our final trench, so we could actually break that. So there's our final trench, it lines up with that. Then everything on both these lines gets covered in redstone, so all of this, all the way to this point right here, we want to leave a spot for a repeater. Then this one, we go 1 in front of this observer, and we extend that line all the way out. So there's the 2 lines. We then in our torches right now, which are going to be 6 torches. I think it's 5 torches for each of those slime modules. So 1 there, and all these just like that. And so that's going to extend all of our pistons, which locks the slime modules down when the machine's activating. And now we can place in some repeaters. So a repeater goes on top of this one, set to 1 delay, and on top of this observer, set to full delay. So 4 different ticks on it. We place in 2 redstone like that, a block on top of this one, and now we can place in our final repeater down here, which just needs to be 1 tick. So that was a lot we just got done, and pretty much everything. Now we're going to work on placing in our slime. So the slime come out from these blocks, and they extend out 4 all the way to our torches. So we'll add in all 5 of those. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. And then on top of these, you need to place in some pistons like this. And this is actually what creates an immovable object. So when it goes down, the torch powers it, which creates an immovable object. And then that way it can't go back up. It's just a weird part of the system. And then over here we need to place our falling blocks. They just go on top of each one of these. So there goes all of them. Actually, this was a mistake. I don't know when this happened. This should be set to 1 delay. That's actually kind of important. Uh-oh. So I'm just going to look around all these to make sure we didn't mess up anywhere else. And everything still looks good. So we could go look at all of our repeater delays again. The only ones that should have any type of delays on them at all is this one right here, which should be set to 2. So you just click on it once after placing it. And then this one over here, which should be set to 4. I believe those are the only ones that should have any type of delay. That's more than just when you place it down. So that pretty much wraps up our whole main system again. Now all we need to do is set our combination. So I'm just going to set it to go 2, 3, 2, 3 and keep zigzagging back. So there's 2. And we need to connect up our redstone to it. Then here's 3, connect up the redstone, place it in the 3rd one, and then back to 2 again with 1 redstone. And I'm just going to carry that all the way back here. And the final one that we have to worry about is right here. So this one's a bit different. We need to pick our final thing, and since it's going to be 3 again, it means it lines up right here. And so that's our 6th combination again, the very last one. And then we're going to place in a piston directly in front of that, which faces down, so this is different than these ones. We break the block underneath it like that, then we place one in front of the face, and so this is the system that dislodges our final thing if we get it wrong, to keep people from breaking in. But the output line leads back right here, so if this block is up like this, like how it's supposed to be, the repeater is able to go right through it and power the output line, which is right here. So here we go, let's test it. There's a little light to indicate if we got it correct. We'll start off by just entering in select random. It should reset it all, it should pull it down and push it back up. Alright, that looks good. Now we're going to do the correct combination, which is 2. There it goes. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. And there we go, the light activated, so that's awesome. The thing reset, and that's working perfectly. So I showed 2 different ways to build it, but they're both exactly the same, other than the combination we entered in at the end. And I think that should give a pretty good idea of how to build it. So now I'm just going to go into some other stuff I really like about the combination lock, and the first thing is that you can pretty much enter in the code as quick as you want. And there we go, it actually kept up with it, and that's a part of it that I'm pretty proud of, and I think is really nice. So another thing is with this, is there's actually kind of a cheat with it, where if you listen each time you enter in a code, if you enter it in, and nothing happens, you know that you got it wrong, and if you enter in the correct one and you listen, you could actually hear the little lock thing activate, and you could actually tell when you get it correct. So what someone could do if they wanted to break in is they could listen to each one and slowly decipher the code and slowly listen to each one of those. And so it's a little annoying, but I think it's kind of cool because it gives people a way to break in. But if you don't want it, if you actually want it to be super secure, there's a few ways to solve it. So first of all, if you just make a super long combination, they're not going to be able to hear it way down there, and that's just one kind of wacky way to stop it. But another thing you could do is either have this repeater system extend out way far and move the keypad really far away, or you could just do a chain of no blocks and observers up way higher so the whole system's down low in the ground so they can't hear it that way, and pretty much just to get the system far away to where you can't hear it. But that's just one thing you might want to think about if you want to make a super secure system. And here's actually a really silly way to do it. I'm not sure how well this would actually work, but you could just have it each time you activate the thing, you could have it activate a piston, so something kind of like this. Let's see what that does. That might actually work good. Let's see if we get it wrong. Okay, now let's try to get it correct once it resets. You can still hear a difference, you need to delay this a bit more, but that might actually be a way to mask the sound of it. And this is kind of a random thing, but the signal it sends out on the output line is 1 tick. So what you could actually do is have some repeaters to make it longer, or you could have a pulse extender or something, and you build the pulse extenders just like this, and then you could have that go into a piston door or anything like that. So to do a piston door a pulse extender, what I would do is do a pretty big pulse extender like that, and you want to add a block with one of the comparators pointing into it to make it last longer. And now if you enter in the correct combination, it will make that light stay on a lot longer. So that's pretty much what you would want for one of your piston doors. You would want it to last pretty long. Oh, it looks like we need this to be longer, but I think you get the idea. And so that's pretty much it for the whole combination. You could just expand it out and have more keys, or add more modules and make the combination code longer. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to have a world download of this world. I'm just going to add a few more things to it, but I'm going to have that down in the description. And yeah, I'm really proud of this design. It's one that I've been working on for about a year now. It started out pretty huge, but the principle, the slime block, pulling it down, and everything like that has remained the same since the beginning. I've just been working on compacting it and everything. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys build this up in your world, I hope it's doing a great job at protecting people from breaking in and everything like that. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and bye.